This week Parashat Devarim, right before Tisha B'Av, we learn Parashat Devarim. It's very interesting that in this week that we learn Parashat Devarim, the Churban of Bet HaMikdash happened on 9th, which is Tuesday, and on Shabbat we learn this Parasha. Now Mekubalim tell us that whatever that happens in the Parasha, is hinted in the Parasha. Therefore, if they tell us that Bet HaMikdash got destroyed on Tisha B'Av, and the reason is Sinat Chinam, somehow that Sinat Chinam has to be mentioned in the Parasha. Now, we look at the Parasha, whether we find the word of Sinah or not. In other words, it's very easy. You put it in a computer and you try to get it out. But if you look at the Parasha, you see that we find the word of Sinah. And it's very interesting the way that we find the word of Sinah in this Parasha. If you go to Perek Aleph, Pasuk Chaf Zayin. Perek Aleph, Pasuk Chaf Zayin. In other words, Torah says right before, in other words, when they sent the Meragelim, they came back and they gave a wrong report to Kahal Israel, and Kahal Israel got very scared of going to Israel. The Pasuk Chaf Vav, Perek Aleph, Pasuk 26. Chapter 1, Pasuk 26. When the spies came and they gave a report, you didn't want to go to Israel, you gossiped in your tent and you said, Besinat Hashem otanu hotzanu Mitzrayim otanu biyadayinu lashmodenu. Besinat Hashem, the word of Sinah we find here. With the hatred HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us out of Mitzrayim. That to give us over in the hand of a Mori to destroy us. Unbelievable. Leil Pesach, we sit down and we talk about HaKadosh Baruch Hu taking us out of Mitzrayim with all of the miracles. We talked about mighty of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We talk about how much He loves us. And here you find the Apostle says all of the taking out was with sinah, hatred. Sounds like a joke. How is it possible? How is it possible that Kahal Israel called Yetziat Mitzrayim, Hashem did it with hatred? Do you know how is it possible? Listen to Chazar. Rashi brings Chachamim that tell us what was their justification. Besinat Hashem otanu Mitzrayim Rashi. Hotzato lesinah. Taking out what's the sinah. Why? Mashal lemelech basar adam is a parable to a king that had two children, and this king had two fields. One field had a spring inside and was irrigated, and the other one didn't have any spring, any source of water, and had to rain with to get water through rain. Now, now, obviously, the one that he loves, he gives the field that is irrigated and has water, supply of water spring. The one that he doesn't like, he gives the field that doesn't have irrigation. Eretz Yisrael she'sakyahi. Eretz Yisrael that Nilos. That the river, Shenilos Ole Mashkeota. Nilos went and they made Nilos into a networking that all over waters. The Eretz Yisrael she'tbal. Eretz Canaan, there's no water, there's no supply of water. And he took us out and he gave us this land. Unbelievable point. Chachamim are telling us what was the justification of Kahal Israel. That Kahal Israel said that this land was given to them, and this very interesting point. Now, Torah tells us in Parashat Ekev, if you notice, the Parashat Ekev, Torah says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that you should know the land that you are coming in if you notice Parashat Ekev, there is a Perek Chafbet, Pasuk Yud, K'ores Hashata Bashama, Perek Chafbet, Perek 22, Pasuk 10. The land that you come there is not like Eretz Yisrael. The Apostle says, Asher Satem Misham, Vishra Bragdecha. Eretz Yisrael, you water it with your foot. It's handmade. You could water it with yourself. The land that you come is the land of mountain and hills. The water comes from rain. Eretz Asher Hashem Yekecha Doreshotah. It's the land that Hashem searched that. Tamid in Hashem Yekecha Ba. Always the eyes of Hashem is there. In other words, Torah itself says there is a difference between Eretz Yisrael and Israel. Eretz Yisrael is Eretz natural water, naturally. Eretz Israel is al pi hashgacha, supervision of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem is supervising. Now I tell you a modern example of what is being said here that I started with tonight. Imagine you have a business in downtown and your neighbor is a Chinese and Japanese. They worship idol. And every month something happens to you. 1 month your merchandise is not good, another month iris. Every month something happens. And you see your neighbor, this Chinese and Japanese, every month is growing. Every month is becoming better and better. And you wonder, you say, I keep Torah and mitzvot. I'm close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And see, every month something happens to me. And this person is an idol worshiper. He doesn't believe in Hashem. And see the blessing, see the richness, see what's happening with him. It's prosperity and everything is growing. This is a modern example of what is being said. Therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us in Parashat Ekev that you have to understand that Eretz Israel is the Eretz of Hashgachat Hashem. This is the supervision of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Therefore, when Chachamim tell us that Hamid got ruined because of Sinah, they don't say Sinah, Sinat Chinam. What does Sinat Chinam mean? It means Sinah for nothing, for no reason. How could it be for no reason? No, Chachamim are telling us we have to change our perspective. In other words, you could look at the perspective of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what He's doing to you is a hatred. Why? Because of the Mussar that says. But if you change your perspective, if you understand the reality of life, not live in illusion and delusion, and you find out the reality of everlasting of life, you change your perspective. What is bitter becomes sweet. What is sweet becomes bitter. That's all change of perspective. Now Rashi says unbelievable things. How come? He loved you. Do you know why do you feel that Hashem hates you? Because you hate Him. And there is a parable that he says, whatever that's in your heart about your friend, you feel that it is in his heart against you. Really, the hatred is that you have in your heart. Whatever that's in your heart about your friend, you feel that's whatever that's in his heart. You hated HaKadosh Baruch Hu because you didn't want to submit Torah and mitzvot, supervision of Hashem. Then you say, B'sin Hashem otanu. Therefore, change sinat chinam. We have to change perspective in life. Whatever that our feelings are toward our friends, toward HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we feel the same way Hashem is dealing with us, or friend is dealing with us. We have to change our perspective and understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu ohev etchem. He loves you, He likes you. And people also, they are not crazy just to hate you. They love you, they like you. But just a lot of times you have to put in right perspective. Yes, there is a perspective of hatred, but illusion, it's delusion. That's why Chachamim say, Sinat Chinam. It's a hatred for nothing. Because when you look and you understand and perceive it in the right way, you see that's not hatred, it's the love. And through that, we could promote the community and people to have a better relationship together with Hashem, and that would be a cause to rebuild the Beit HaMikdash. Exactly.